Hello and good morning to Madam Angela. Okay, my name is LUQMAN Hakim bin Muhammad HAFIF. And this is my teammate. And today we're going to discuss about our topic, which is analysis of this article. So, beside this is front cover page for our article, which is we choose from Hakka language, and the topic is multilingualism and language shift in Malaysian Hakka family.
Hi, my name is VILASHNI. So I'll briefly introduce about our article and on language shift. Okay, so first of all, as LUQMAN already said, the title of our article is Multilingualism and Language Shift in a Malaysian Hakka Family, which was written by Ralph Wallman and Teck Hui Soon. And this article was published on the year of 2018. So this article is basically about a study that investigates the language used in one Hakka family living in Peninsular Malaysia and mainland China. So the article that we choose mainly focuses on how a family shifts from Hakka language to Mandarin, like how they shift from speaking Hakka language to Mandarin language. Okay, so first of all, what is language shift? Okay, this is a brief explanation on what is language shift. So, okay, language shift is basically one changing from speaking one particular language to another. Like, for an example, a person from speaking Tamil language, they change to speaking English language. Like, from the beginning, they would have been only spoken in Tamil, like their main language would have been Tamil, but then after a certain point of time, they changed to, speaking just English. So that is language shift, okay? Like you change from speaking one language to another. So there are like various of reasons for people to, perform language shift. So one of the main reason is actually to look cool. Like youngsters in our generation, so they always want to be, on trend. They so youngsters from this minority speaking language, when they go out like to college maybe or to work, so when they move to the city, so people in the city, they speak the majority speaking language, okay? So when people from this minority speaking language goes and speak to the city people, like if they speak their language, the city people wouldn't understand what are they saying, so they will not accept that people from that community into their circle. So to be accepted by the majority language speaking people, to be accepted by them, this minority speaking language people, they tend to shift language to be accepted by the city people, to be accepted by the majority language speaking people. So for that, they shift their language, they totally abandon their own language and they shift to a very new language, so that people from that community will accept them in their circle and they will mingle with them. So for that, they do that. So this is a brief explanation on language shift. That's all from me. Moving on to the next presenter.
Okay, hi, my name is Admirol Haqimie bin MOHD. So based from the article, this is part A, which is analysis. Based from the language shift, we have generate 4 points in the analysis based from the language shift. So firstly, why Hakka use language shift? It is because Hakka is the sub-ethnic based from the Chinese culture. in Malaysia, Hakka is not most domain sub-ethnic because it currently Mandarin is the main culture for the Chinese main ethnic for the Chinese culture. So firstly, why Hakka use this language shift? It is because their dialect that hard to communicate. As you can see, Hakka is using their communication and language based from the Cantonese and Hokkien language, so that it is hard for them to communicate since they are not so socialized with other people, such as their main culture, which is Chinese. So for the writing system, their writing system is a bit hard because they are most different between the most domain ethnic, which is Mandarin. Mandarin and Hakka is basically so different, so that it is hard for them to learn. And then their main family current seated in main city, our main city. It is because their Hakka big family is currently sit in Kuala Lumpur, which is they have to do this language shift because they have to communicate with each other of course in the main city in Kuala Lumpur. It is main factor why they have to use language shift. So for the next point, which is their generation story. So as we know, Hakka is a minority sub-ethnic. So if they have to work in they have to be immigrant majority. So basically they have to learn some of the language, so that they can work and communicate with their work partner or their in their workplace. So for the next part, which is fourth generation different married, which is because in their fourth generation they have married with other culture people and other country people, such as Vietnam, Iban, and also Cantonese. So they must use another language so that they can communicate with their partner. So they can communicate with not also with their partner, with other people and their current family. So that's all from me. We continue to Luqman.
Okay, welcome back to my part, which is I'm continue Admirol part in analysis. So the third is learning process and language choice. So basically, the enumeration of many languages spoken by almost all family members hides that facts that these languages are not at all known to the same extent. That means they have practiced multilingual language, which included English based on their high degree of grammatical convergence of languages. So basically, the language that is on the list is South Chinese. The second one is Malaysian form of Mandarin. And the third one is Malaysian English. And the last one is Bahasa Pasar, that all we know Bahasa Pasar, right? So in their learning, it may predominantly mean phonological and lexical adaptation. It also counts in their children that they have learned English at an early age at school. many things have been learned, such as English word, vocabulary, or something that related to English. That easy to connect with other culture, as it will be easier to communicate with other people. So like for the Bahasa Pasar, it's easier because they have to learn based on their environment that makes them learn just based on other people communication, other people surrounding, and just copy what people around them say. This will help them improve day by day. So for the fourth is what is identity? So for the identity, not only in English, many different language can be spoken, which helps them to be more comfortable with the current environment in Malaysia. For the environment or for the language choose, the Malay language also can be adapted because of the current environment. You know that the current environment in which the majority of Malay language will be used during communication. So it is because in Malaysia, the domain language that has been used since our Independence Day is Bahasa Melayu. You all know that, okay? So otherwise, Hakka sub-ethnic is learned day by day also to make them comfort or to make them suitable with the condition with each other, and this have any different language spoken not only in school, although adults right now during work, or we can talk about senior citizen, also learn about this language because it takes time, and this is because of the late learning. So for the current attitude identity, there currently some of them like adult who living abroad, such as in China. This identity will not be affecting them to use in Malay language. In addition, but currently there are so many positive attitude towards so many positive, you know what I mean, the positive attitude towards their sub-ethnic. So currently, it suddenly has been surprising that they did not consider Cantonese and Mandarin as their research anymore, as they have and I think some of the Hakka can do right now, and maybe it's currently or they are rarely use Hakka, and normally they use it is as a truly Malaysian language. So I think that's all from me. I think based on my explanation, I think that is enough to explain. So we moving forward to another presenter. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, madam. I'm MATHIARASI RAJAMOHAN here. So I'm here to explain the ways of reversing language shift. So this meant as the ways to maintain the language for the community. So which means the Hakka community. So now in this case, for the first point, utilization of Hakka language in primary school. As the way to maintain the Hakka language in their community, They should likewise be esteemed by youngsters and kept in the public arena and families. We should teach Hakka language in schools, attempt to protect and give the language to the future, to stay away from the deterioration of Hakka. So ultimately, assuming nobody communicates in Hakka, will there be Hakka individuals? So there is a very big no. And when there is no Hakka individuals without Hakka mother tongues, so it sounds weird. For the second point, process depends upon the social cause. So this means investigation proposes that language support should be perceived as a process that relies upon the social direction of the local area and the degree to which language is interested in their ethnic character. So this is also something related to family. So where family and then maybe the community or the circle where they belongs to. So it all depends on their uh, investigation, like whether they going to um take this language serious, or else like they are just going to uh shift the language. So for the third point, further consideration of the language. So this means heritage languages like Hakka that don't have a composing framework face separation due to their restricted use in the family and home space, and may have that heritage language support will not be convincible except if it is started in the family and home area, since parents are liable for making their youngsters linguistic personality. So this is also meant about family. So in this case, all the 3 points I've given, and all the 3 points are more to family. So we knew that language is from family. It's not from outsiders, or it's not from friends. So language only comes from family. So the family has to decide whether to bring it up or how. So only family has that the priority, or maybe they are they plays an important role in all uh, all aspects. Okay, so finally I would like just to mention few just to conclude this point, I would like to say that heritage languages have to compete with global languages for survival, particularly in big cities. Moreover, phonologically, as their lexis, morphology, and syntax are influenced by global languages, their use become restricted to certain domains. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Good morning, madam. My name is LUTFIL bin FAIZAL, and I will talk about conclusion. So, to conclude all of the analysis, so we have 3 points. The first one is Chinese culture has many different linguistic groups such as Hokkien, Cantonese, and Hakka. So we can see this point at the first part, which is Chinese culture really have many linguistic groups, and the first and the main language is Hokkien, second Cantonese, and the third one is Hakka. So Hakka, we are talking about Hakka. So Hakka is based in the north of China, and this language close to the Gan dialects, which China has many different dialects. So Gan is one of the dialect. Okay, and for the comprehension of the Hakka language, it's not mutually understandable because Hakka language is quite hard to communicate and can only be understandable with their only community. And for Hakka, include South Chinese, Malaysian form of Mandarin, and Malaysian English, and also Bahasa Pasar. Okay, and the second point is modern spoken standard languages can expand the smaller languages and dialects everywhere. So some of Hakka people said that currently they rarely use Hakka and normally use it as a truly Malaysian language in a modified version. This is because Hakka is a sub-ethnic that has progressed from one ethnic language to variable language. This means that from Hakka language, they shift to other different language that are main and to big other language, to other big language. They also expand their small language and dialects everywhere. It can be described that in Malaysia nowadays has improved to make sure that other sub-ethnics community will make Hakka as role model for improvement in their society. Okay, and the third point is reversing language shift. Emphasis should focus on family, neighborhood, community. So for this point, in this case, in this analysis, Hakka language supposedly comes from north of China, that are in South Jiangxi, which is in Western Min, relocated to South and Southeast Asia, and Taiwan, and also different place like Suriname. Okay, the Hakka language is inseparable from language policy and attitude, so that government and Hakka must take responsibility for the inseparable language policy. And so from this investigation, from our investigation here, proposes that languages support should be perceived as a process that relies upon the social direction of the local area and the degree to which language is inserted in ethnic character for every community. So that's all from me. Thank you.
So that's all from us. Thank you, madam.